Welcome to the GoGCast, brought to you by Mad Cats, all about the game. An XSplit broadcaster, simple yet powerful, live streaming and recording. And now, your host, Leah.
And welcome to another GoGcast. This is episode number 87, and we've got an extra special one again here for you today. It's a wonderful Monday night, and I've got joining me Miss Catherine. How you doing?
I'm good.
You're all festive there behind you with the Christmas lights.
Yeah, I'm gonna have them on pretty much all year round. Fuck it, I love them. They're staying.
They're lights. I love lights too. Hey, Simon.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good yourself.
Very, very good.
Ooh.
And we have an awesome guest on with us today, the director of the Montreal International Games Summit, Serge Landry. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here.
Really appreciate you coming on this evening, and just want to let all you folks know who are watching live in Twitch right now, we have a giveaway for a double pass for MIGS, the show that's happening Sunday, Monday, Tuesday coming up now this week. So it's going to be lots of fun. Stay tuned, stay in the chat. We're going to give that away at the end of the show. But before we get started, I want Serge to give us details about who he is, what he does, and, we're going to get into all the awesomeness that is MIGS coming up later on in the show. So go ahead, sir.
Okay, my name is Serge. I've been in the video game industry since 2011. I started my own company called Mira Lupa back in 2011. It's a company that is still focusing on augmented reality, including video games in augmented reality. We were pretty much ahead of our time in 2011 in sight of the current trend with Pokemon. In fact, that's a pitch we did to Namco Bandai back in 2012, and they laughed at us.
Pokemon Go?
No, the concept.
Oh, really?
We pitched the same concept to Namco Bandai back in 2012 with Pac-Man.
Wow.
But they didn't think it would work. So anyway, we were too much ahead of our time.
Obviously.
So I did run that business for a while, and I got involved a lot with the trade association called Alliance Numérique. And I was producer for MIGS in 2013, 2014 for the trade association. And I also got involved with the Canadian association called Canadian Interactive Alliance, which I was president for 2 years. So I had the chance to see a lot of conference and shows doing that. I was at Nordic Game. I went to Gamescom twice. I did 5 GDC. And
So pretty much you're living the gamer's ultimate lifestyle, pretty much.
Kind of, although I did 5 times and I didn't see one conference.
Oh, see, that's the thing. When you're working, or if you're trying to sit down and get an idea of the concept of a show like that, you don't get to actually enjoy the conference.
That's it. I was there to do business encounters and so on. So it's very disappointing, but I never had a chance to see a conference at GDC. Hopefully it's going to come this year.
Fingers crossed.
That's like when we go to Fan Expo or Comic Con or whatever. We're so focused on everything we have to do that we're like, okay, we have to take at least a good hour to just walk the floor and take it all in, because that's super important.
Everything.
Yeah, it's super important.
Yeah, it's hard stuff to do. So you've been with MIGS since 2013?
Yeah, involved with MIGS, but as the director of MIGS since last January. So it's the first year I do handle everything from A to Z, including the content, the show floor, and so on. So it's going to be a bigger, nicer show this year, and good attendance, I think. Our lineup of speakers is awesome. I think we're going to have a great time.
Awesome. We're going to get into more MIGS talk in a little bit. But are you playing any video games right now? Or are you too busy?
I am pretty busy, but I did download Civilization 6.
Ooh.
And I tried, of course.
Did you just do one more turn? Just one more turn.
I have to say, this weekend I did try it, and one more turn was 3:30 in the morning.
Sounds like us.
Sounds like so.
It's the kind of game I get very much addicted to, so I have to be careful.
Like many people, I can assure you that. You're not the only one. I know some friends personally who, to not name them Tip from Borealis, who will just sink in billions of hours into Civ, so it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it was also Civilization, if I'm not mistaken, is their best one so far in
6?
terms of sales.
Oh,
in
yeah.
the shortest period of time.
I felt like the buzz around the game was really strong, more so than any other launch for one of their titles, like one of the Civilization titles. So I'm glad that it's going well for them.
Seriously.
How about you, Simon? What are you playing?
World of Warcraft, Overwatch. I'm a Blizzard whore.
Well, I mean,
Oh, Dark Souls. I finished the DLC, which was kind of short, actually. It was really fun, but like once you got past the first really hard area, I feel like the game really just flowed and stuff. But I mean, the last boss is just pure gravy. Like it's FromSoft at their best, the last boss of the DLC. So I'm excited to see what they're gonna come in for DLC 2. But I want to say, like, I was on New Game Plus, so level 110, which is pretty much what you'd expect, you know, someone to go into the game who knows what he's doing. And I pretty much wrecked the whole place. It took me like 4 hours, 3-4 hours maybe tops. And like the DLC was in development, I want to say, for when the Dark Souls 3 came out, August or something.
yeah, sounds about right.
So it's like 3-4 months and for 3 hours of gameplay. Like,
Okay,
so
maybe
I
you
hope.
want a little more.
Well, I mean, I'm hoping, and a lot of people are hoping, that the second DLC is the last ever piece of content that From is going to do in the Dark Souls series. There's not going to be any more Dark Souls games. It's done. There's not going to be any more. So, like, a lot of us are hoping that, like, DLC 2 is the DLC that ties all the loose ends together and is, like, 10 hours long and all the bosses and the places and yeah, so crossing our fingers. Then again, I kind of want a new Dark Souls, well, a new FromSoft game, you know. There was a lot of rumors talking about some futuristic cyberpunk stuff, but made by FromSoft, like the same type of game. So that sounds really fucking cool too.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see them take out something different. That excites me.
Then Gothic medieval magic, because I mean, Bloodborne was pretty much the same thing. Well, not the same thing. The type of game was different, but the setting was kind of comparable to Dark Souls.
Yeah. Lots of blacks and blue tones and dreariness.
But it's surprisingly, like, Bloodborne especially is surprisingly colorful in some areas. Like, yes, it's still dark, but like there's a lot of yellows and like reds and just, I don't know. Bloodborne is still my favorite of all the FromSoft games. So,
Kat, what you playing?
Skyrim.
We've lost her. That's it. We've lost her.
Oh, we're going for another 186 hours. I actually started the Dawnguard questline because people are like, if you don't do it, vampires will come into the city and kill people.
yeah, that's kind of dumb.
Yeah, I know. So I was like, do I add the mod for people to run away? Because you can get a mod that when they see a vampire, they're just like, eek! And they go away and they don't get killed. But then I'm like, I'm just going to do that quest line. And in the middle of the quest line, I come in a village and a dragon kills 2 villagers. And I'm just like, well, there goes those NPC.
Oops.
Good thing I'm doing the Dawnguard quest line first so people survive. And the dragon just like, fuck your shit. So,
Like,
but I'm enjoying it because I've never played the DLCs.
Like, I know Alice doesn't want to play Skyrim and is afraid to play Skyrim because she's like, if I play it and I don't do Dawnguard, people are going to die. So she's like, I don't want to do it because then it's going to be weird. I'm like, well, just
She doesn't want that on her conscience.
Exactly. And she's like, I don't want to stress that people might die because of Dawnguard. It's like, well, just do it and, like, kill the vampires or
Get it
whatever.
over with.
Yeah, just become the vampire or kill the vampire. Either way. But it's an interesting storyline. And
You
I'm
can
really...
become the vampire?
Yeah, so without spoiling
dumb.
anything, when you meet
It's dumb.
when you meet the vampire lord, that is basically foreshadowing as the last boss of the quest. He offers you to either get his power, and then you can build up your power as a vampire and become a vampire lord, or you can say no thank you. But because you kind of like did him a favor in the beginning of the quest line, he's like, well, if you don't want it, I'm going to let you walk away, but next time I see you, you're prey just like everybody else.
That's pretty good. Usually vampires don't give you that choice.
No.
It's a major, major favor, as in you saved his daughter's life, basically. So he's like, you get this one favor.
One free pass.
One
Do not pass go. Do not collect
$200. So I'm going the route of not becoming a vampire.
It's because it sucks.
Huh?
It sucks. Did they fix it? Like, because I know in Oblivion being a vampire sucked.
I think it's pretty manageable, but
Yeah.
I've never done the vampire. I've never done the werewolf, so I was considering maybe doing the companion questline and becoming a werewolf. But actually, I should have. I should have become the vampire and then cure my vampirism by becoming a werewolf. And I think after that, there's a questline to not be a werewolf anymore.
Wow.
So I've gotten all my chevos.
Oh, Skyrim.
I need to play that game one day. One day it'll suck me in.
Well, I mean, it's pretty affordable.
No, it's not that. It's that there's other things. Like, I'm waiting for Watch Dogs. And, like, if I start Skyrim, then Watch Dogs, that's it. Right?
I'm not gonna lie. I think what will save me from Skyrim and prevent me from playing another 180
Pokemon.
hours. Yes, Pokemon is coming, and Pascal is really excited. He's pre-ordered the game. I'm getting my game, and we're just gonna...
He's so adorable. He messaged me. He's like, "Which version are you getting?" It's like, "Oh, I'm getting Moon. Good. I'm gonna get Sun, so we can try." I'm like, "Yeah." We're so gay. It was a
Pokemon.
grown 30-year-old man just getting excited about Pokemon.
The man is
Love
a
it.
doctor. The man has a
Yeah, he's a doctor. He doesn't have an
works
excuse.
7 years on one thing, and you know, like, yeah, you got your PhD. Yeah, I guess that's okay. So Pokemon Sun Moon is coming up.
He's got his PhD in Pokemons.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh my. Oh my. I've been playing more Diablo still. I don't know what it is. It sucked me in. I know BlizzCon happened and maybe that was kind of on my brain. Also, I bought this game because like I decided I wanted to go on Steam and find like a quick win because I know Watch Dogs is coming and I wanted to try something new without jumping into something hardcore like Skyrim. I bought this game called Meadow, which looks, it's like you get to be a creature and go and try and meet other creatures in the world, but the whole aesthetic kind of reminds me of like a quilt. Like the way everything's done, in these crazy patterns. Yeah. And like it doesn't give you very many instructions when you start. It's just like I started as this badger and if I click, he like makes noises. And I know that I have like a tool set to communicate with other creatures, but they're all just symbols or facial expressions. And I know I can navigate by like walking through, walking with the keypad. You have to collect these like energy sources out of like these trees and plants and flowers and stuff. But besides that, I don't really know what else I'm supposed to be doing. But so far, it's pretty darn cute. So I'm gonna keep playing. Meadow. Yeah, I bought it on Steam. It was $3 or $4. So I was like, why not?
So you really spoiled yourself.
Hey, big spender.
Yeah, look at you and all the radio money.
Not really. What radio money? What is this? But yeah, Shame. What? Dishonored 2. Yes, we're excited, Rez. We're excited for Dishonored 2. Who can't be this excited for Dishonored?
I mean, Dishonored 1 was fantastic, so yeah, I'm excited for 2.
Yeah, that's coming real soon too. But yeah, that's what I did. I bought that game. I want to play it more because it seems like a very much like an explorative game. You jump into areas with other people, and they're also creatures, and then that's how you communicate.
Is it NPCs or is it?
No, they're people.
Yeah, wow,
Yeah,
that's so cool.
so maybe we should all play it together. It'd be
I
cute.
agree.
Yeah, it'd be cute and see what.
I mean, if I can be a kitty cat.
What did you say, Serge?
Watch Dogs 2 is launching at May.
Ooh.
Launching at MIGS.
That's true. It's launching on November 11th?
15th.
Why do I have 11th on the brain?
So in fact, they're gonna pre-launch it at MIGS because they're gonna showcase it starting Sunday, which is the 13th.
All right, so I'll be there with bells on. I actually really enjoyed Watch Dogs 1. I know it has character issues. I know it has story issues. But there was something about it, like the mechanics of the hacking and the idea of going through like the cameras and just like that puzzle mechanic, the sneakiness, because Kat and I love sneaky. I really enjoyed that. So yeah, I'm really stoked for the next one. And I like the idea of big data too, like that the whole concept. We've been talking a lot about it at work too about it. So yeah, I'm interested to see what comes of it.
Well, like a lot of Ubisoft first games, the concept is interesting and fun and like implemented in a cool way, but then it just kind of falls flat of what you were expecting. And then 2 is like.
Exactly, that's it. If Watch Dogs 2 is an Assassin's Creed 2, I'm in. Like,
that's cool. Like, I mean, it's the way to do it.
You can definitely see the trend because like Altair was like a bit of a shell.
Yep.
And Aiden Pierce was just like, I'm a robot driven by revenge. It was just uninterested. And if you look at Ezio, who was like this charming, suave.
Everyone loves Ezio.
Lady killer. And I don't know what you've seen from the trailers, but the new guy, Marcus, he looks like
cool.
He looks so energetic. I don't know about like his personality.
He reminds me of somebody we know.
Who?
Chase?
No.
Voice.
Voice. He reminds me of Voice.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Voice a bit more down is one level under Marcus.
Well, I mean, I don't.
Borderline needing Ritalin or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's only what I've seen in the few gameplay things and that it's really hard doing what we do sometimes because like I want to watch all the trailers, but I don't want to watch all the content because I don't want to be spoiled.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's jump into some news. A full note, disclaimer, whatever. We're not talking about BlizzCon. Why? We actually have somebody there. Sarah is actually at BlizzCon right now, and we want the time to have her back and be able to talk about it and get like the show floor feel. So I know, yeah, we're not talking about
It's so hard for me not to
We're doing a whole cast on it next week. So
I know.
I know.
So
Simmer down. You're on it.
So
calm down. I know. But hold on to that. Hold it. Keep it in. So November is a fun month because actually November of 2016 marks 10 years since the launch of the PS3 and the Nintendo Wii.
What?
And how different those two launches were.
Jesus.
So let's take a trip back 10 years ago. The Nintendo Wii was a hit right out of the gate. It was super hard to find. I remember my brother found one off the back of a truck. And then on the other side, the PS3 was $600 US, and everybody was freaking out.
Yeah.
Speed forward to today, the Wii U is, the Wii is gone. The Wii U, still kind of kicking.
Failed concept.
Kicking. Yeah, exactly. And, it's Catherine, that's a very good demonstration for those of you who are not watching this live or on YouTube. She's doing something like almost like a feather slowly floating down.
A dead leaf.
Dead leaf, yep.
It's autumn.
I want to get from you guys a little bit of feel, maybe Serge first, did you buy a PS3 at launch or a Wii at launch when it came out 10 years ago?
I did buy a PS3. I still have my PS3 still working very well.
Oh yeah,
the fat one.
Yeah.
Me too.
Oh my god.
And I mean, I upgraded the memory for more like heavy games.
Yep.
And I was happy to use it for Blu-ray, which was at the time still before streaming was very good.
Well, not only that, but like for $600, like that was almost the price of a Blu-ray player back then. So for like $50 more, you got a console. So like, yeah.
Yeah, my parents finally got the PS3 when they wanted a Blu-ray player, and I was like, well, get a PS3 so I can play Final Fantasy, and they're like, no. And then they looked at the price. My dad was like, all right, let's just get the PS3 because it's actually, right now, this is cheaper, and
pretty much.
Sony Blu-ray, it was $400 if you wanted, or it was like $600, and then the the same Blu-ray was in the PS3, and it was like $50 cheaper. My dad was like, what the fuck? Whatever. Two controllers and Smuggler's Run.
No, it was expensive on the wallet, but overall, the quality of the unit was there and provided with extra stuff like Blu-ray player, which I believe was a good combo.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed it was. And then the Wii on the other side. I keep wanting to say Wii U. I had to get that out of my head when I used to just say Wii by mistake. But the Wii itself was a hit right out the gate because, you know, Nintendo created this idea of like shoot, now I'm losing my words.
The Wii Sport.
Motion?
No.
Emotion.
Nope. Starts with a C. It'll come to me eventually. Don't you love when this happened? I meant to write it down and then I lose it. Casual.
Oh, jeez.
I have to say though, Wii was a precursor. How would you say that in English?
Same word.
Precursor.
To bring like non-gamers to game.
That's exactly it.
For that, it was very good because I remember playing it at the Christmas party with my folks and getting my grandma play tennis.
Yep.
Totally.
We used to play golf at Christmas with the whole family, and no one I'd never held a controller in their life, and they were just swinging away, and they were having fun. So
I've told this story before, but I remember the Christmas that came out, and my dad is a doctor and was on call, and he got a phone call and then hung up and giggled a little bit, and I'm like, what? And he's like, I have to go fix somebody's broken finger that they broke playing Wii. So I got a good giggle out of that.
Amazing.
Yeah, but that was easily the best way to explain to somebody who was a non-gamer what this all was. It's just like, stand here, take this, and bowl. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, pretend to bowl. And they're like, okay, I understand now.
And I still remember the commercials, like the little Japanese man going to people's own, we would like to play, and they would just like give the little controllers, and then people were like, oh my god.
Yeah, exactly.
Not sure it's gonna happen with the Switch though.
Nope.
We'll see. Time will tell. Sales figures wise, the Wii is actually the 5th best-selling console of all time.
Oh,
It sold
yeah.
101.63 million.
Jesus.
Yeah. The PS3 is 7th at 83.3 million.
What's number one?
Off the top of my head, I think it's the Nintendo DS.
Oh, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
They sell that stuff like bread in Japan. It's crazy.
Yeah. And then let's flip this a bit and take it to today. Wii U, not so hot.
No.
It's had a confusing launch message and sits at 13.36 million sold. The PS4 is the highest of this generation to date. Obviously, we're still living in it. They have 47.4 million to date sold.
Sony just took a head start and never looked back.
Yep. They figured it out. They figured out what they did wrong with the PS3 and then just killed it.
And I think that they figured out what people wanted out of a gaming console.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if the PSVR is gonna make any impact on the PS4 sales.
Yeah. Have you played it?
I tried it, but I'm a bit sick. I get the motion sickness.
Yeah, Cat's the same.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. It's still quite expensive to get the VR gear. So you have to be a hardcore gamer for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's expensive for something like that. Myself, I could only use 30 minutes to an hour at a time. As in, if I sit down and play Skyrim, it could be just like you playing Civ. It'd be like, hey, Catherine, it's 3 a.m. Shit, the dragon's not dead yet.
But of all, like, when you think about VR, and I think it's one of the most approachable to start off gaming-wise, because you already are used to the PlayStation system and UI and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's one of the most approachable ones, and I think they did a solid job at making it a decent price point. It's obviously still expensive.
The price point is way more affordable than if you look at the Oculus gear. Because even with the Oculus, you need a very good, heavy computer to go in there.
Yeah, that's the truth.
And the computer you need to work with the Oculus is like at least $1,500.
Exactly. So yeah, the price point's definitely good. I always like putting the unit on, well, we had it for 5 days, PlayStation loaned it to us, and I liked putting the unit on people who had never tried VR before. I thought it was hilarious. It's like the Wii all over again, except I find that this experience was even more entertaining to watch because it's so all encompassing. And like, yes, we like people with motion control and they figured it out really fast. But like my husband got stuck in the menu because that was so interactive, right? Like he didn't even get into a game and he was already like giggling like a schoolgirl. So, yeah. All right, we're gonna move on to. Oh, go ahead.
We'll just have to see if anybody can make some profitable content with that.
Yeah, that's the truth.
The main objectives for everybody now. It's to make sure you can do money with the content.
Exactly.
It's a cool gimmick to showcase, but do video game developers can make money out of the content they will put on that thing? That's to be proven still.
Is there going to be lots of VR content at MIGS? Is that something that's a big hook this year?
Yes, one of the big hook one of the exhibitors I'm thrilled to have is Microsoft HoloLens, which is not exactly VR. It's more
AR. Yeah.
Yes, or mixed reality right now. The new trend is mixed reality because.
No, honestly, in my humble opinion, I think the real future is really AR.
Augmented?
Yes, I think that's where it's at. I think that this is where we're going because people want to look at their screen all the time 24/7. So if you have glasses or whatever, then you always have your chat, always have something in your glasses. And you know, and there's always a display happening, but it's real life. I feel that that's a future much more than VR in my opinion. So something like HoloLens, go Microsoft, do it.
I think for VR it will be very much an experience thing, like for games and entertainment. But I think AR will be our everyday drivers.
Yeah.
That's going to be what we have for our smartphone, for working, for everything. It's going to be might already record screen.
Well, I mean, because it can have so many practical effect. You know, you're working in a in a factory or whatever, and you're building something, so you just have the model of what you need to build in your eye, so that you know exactly what pieces to build. Or I'm just saying something completely random, but I'm sure that there's definitely actual practical uses to AR, as in VR is a cool gimmick in my opinion.
VR is going to be very successful with our friends from porn industry.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Catherine and I actually did an interview with a Toronto Metro News about sexual harassment and VR. So, like, it's opening up a whole new can of worms when it comes to video game relationships, sexual relationships, and all that kind of stuff, and problems. So, it's interesting to see how it all goes. Me, personally, I find that, like, since, like, even the phone being connected all the time, having multiple windows open all the time, I'm getting more and more, like, almost easily distracted. And I'm afraid that AR is just going to augment that to, like, a whole new level.
I'm just excited for the full body suit porn experience. I could just put this on. It's like a wetsuit. Just put this on, put on the gauntlet, and be just like, yeah!
You're hilarious.
I'm excited to try that shit.
They'll make it. They'll end up making it.
Hell
Don't worry.
It's gonna happen eventually.
I'm sure it exists already.
Look, and go back.
I'm sure it's in Asia somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's go back to the talk about the PS3. The reason why Blu-ray 1
is the porn.
DVD was porn.
Yeah, 100%.
They could fix more content onto the disc. Anyways.
And it's so funny because like a friend of mine is really into like digital and that kind of stuff, and he was like, we're always asking him who's going to win. Is it HD or is it Blu-ray? And he's like, Blu-ray. He's like, how are you so sure? Because porn chose Blu-ray, and the reason VHS won is because porn chose VHS. So like it's Blu-ray. That's what it's going to be. Like, oh yeah, and then that's exactly what happened.
Yep, there we go.
People like the porn.
Keeping on topic, but still another news story.
Of porn?
No, not porn.
Okay.
But talking about Wii and Wii U, the Wii U is actually reportedly being stopped production this month. Reports are coming from Japanese newspaper Nike and Eurogamer. I guess, assuming that the Switch is coming in March, they probably have already flooded, all the different stores and stuff, and they just want to be done with it. Nintendo's like sayonara, I guess. So yeah, when you think about it, You've got the Switch coming in March. Nintendo's also got the mobile, diving into mobile gaming a bit, even though they kind of did with Pokemon. It wasn't really them. But they've got Mario Run coming sometime before year end. They say holiday. The Wii U launched November 18th, 2012. That's only 4 years ago. So that's pretty short lifespan for a console. To put you in a little perspective here, the Xbox announced the end of support for the 360 on April 20th of 2016, and it launched on November 22nd of 2005. That was 10.5 years of life. The PS3 stopped production in New Zealand, but is actually still going strong in other places. So that's still rolling. The Wii Mini is still in production, and that's the one that, came out here in Canada, and they're still selling it in other places. So, yeah, I mean, that's a pretty short life cycle, but it seems to be Nintendo's thing. If something's not working, kill it, move on.
And they are reviving, though, the NS Classic.
Exactly.
Oh
my God. Everybody is jumping.
The hype is just insane.
You're gonna be surprised how many of these you'll see under the Christmas tree.
Oh my god! Like I went to EB Games to buy a new PS4 controller, and there was a guy asking the lady, so like you guys are in the mall. Do you know if we can camp out in the mall? Like, is there a security issue? And we're like, whoa! And there was like a guy, and he's like 40, and he was wanting to camp out to buy his Nintendo Classic. Like, whoa! Okay, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, because they didn't put out pre-orders. I don't know if this is Nintendo doing its thing again, where it's trying to limit the amount of stuff out there to create more hype.
Of course they are.
Yeah. But yeah, I think this is going to be a hot commodity. It's a perfect price point. $60, 30 games.
Perfect.
Ready to go in your system. The only complaint that I've been hearing from early access folks, like the IGNs, the Polygons, is that the controller cable is really short, like 2.5 meters. Or 2.5 feet. 2.5 feet, even. Not even 2.5 meters.
How are they plugged in? Is it USB?
No, I don't remember off the top of my head.
Of course, it's proprietary, motherfuckers.
Yeah. But it's to get the authentic experience of when you were a kid.
Of being close to the TV.
The TV, like.
But I was listening to IGN's podcast, and apparently it's 2.5 times. No, the original length of the controller from the original NES, the cable, was actually 2.5 times longer. So I don't know. If you've got a big TV room set up, this was actually an issue when I was playing PSVR. The cables weren't long enough, or the distance wasn't long enough. Like, you're going to have a problem trying to play this game. Console. You're going to need a long extension cable for power, and you're going to need a long HDMI cable.
Just get the Sega Classic instead.
Or set up your game room and just put it next to your computer.
You want to play Sonic?
Sonic.
Go fast.
Go fast. All right, now the last piece of news I want to talk about. I'm going to call this the dummy move of the week. Okay? And you guys have probably all heard about this. So everybody knows we have a wonderful metro system here in Montreal.
Oh, yeah.
And note, for those game developers out there, it's not a good idea to do your work on the metro. So we got the hacked announcement, I guess you could say, of the next Tomb Raider. It was leaked due to somebody working on their deck about the game on the metro. Smart. High five, man.
To take that person's defense.
Okay.
Like, you can't really expect... Like, you're in the metro, you're doing your thing, you're, like, concentrated or whatever. You don't expect someone to take a picture of your private screen, you know what I mean?
Well,
private,
you're working on a laptop.
Have you taken the metro?
I have, but what I'm saying is that...
In rush hour.
Yeah, not the
Yeah, I don't know.
I've every day I take the metro. I just saying there, and I'm like, something is touching my butt. I don't know why, but I'm not moving. I want to get to work.
Go ahead, Serge.
Yeah, but I have to say, Montreal is very particular in the video game industry.
It's true.
The ecosystem is very open, and people talk from one studio to another, which is not the case if you go to LA or Tokyo.
No.
So it's pretty particular to our city, our ecosystem, and this guy didn't feel like hiding himself. I believe it's that what happened, and he got caught.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty intense. But the cool things that we learned out of this, or interesting things, most folks know that Crystal Dynamics made the last Rise of the Tomb Raider and the one before that. And they're out of San Francisco. So Eidos, which is here, owned by Square Enix, looks like they're the ones making the next game, which is, by the way, called Shadow of the Tomb Raider. That's what we learned from the deck in the picture. Nice. So the guy who posted the picture, his name was Tripla280 on Reddit. I believe the folks from Kotaku actually reached out to him and asked, like, how did this even happen? And I quote, he said, the page he was on talked about the visuals. I'm from Montreal, Quebec. I was going downtown for work. I took a quick snap. I really would love to say more, but other than the title, the rest was blurry from where I was. So,
well, I mean, it's not like we didn't expect a new Tomb Raider game to be in the works, so it's not like it's that big of a deal. Like, it's not like he stole a demo of it, you know.
But you know that the Eidos Montreal worked on the previous Tomb Raider.
A little bit, not as much as, like, it came out of Crystal Dynamics first. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think Beer Up in chat is saying they did the multiplayer.
Yeah, which is normal, and that Ubisoft does that. They have multiple teams that work on different parts of a game. There might be one studio that leads things, but then they might throw to, one across the border or one over in China or something like that to try and, finish up a certain area, or someone deals with multiplayer, or someone deals with DLC, or to fix a certain bug. But there's usually one studio that heads it. And if someone's working on the deck and the beginning stuff, because it sounds like what he was looking at was more the beginning stages of the game development process, or the pitch, or like the planning, it sounds like it's out of here, which is kind of cool. I mean, the Eidos folks did really well on Deus Ex: Mankind Divided, so
that's a good question to ask David Anfossi at the Mix Cocktail.
There you go, Leah. Put it down.
I will go hunt him down and say, sir, I have a question.
Good.
He'll probably be like, go away, media. That's okay. All right, I'd like to get into the topic of the show, which is, of course, MIGs, and that's why Sarah's just here with us. Just a reminder for those of you in chat, because I see a fair number of you, we are giving away a pair of tickets to the show, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be at the end of the show.
There's one condition.
What?
You have to live in Montreal.
Yeah, that's true. You need to live in Montreal to be able to participate, because, if not, unless you want to get here, like you're in Ottawa or something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Scarborough,
Canada.
like that. Come here. Yeah, come down. Yeah, you got to get
I have to
We
say
have
one
tickets.
thing. I have a bus coming from New York City. If you're from New York City, you want to hop in the bus.
There you go.
You can get to Migs from the
There we go. We're set.
Awesome. So yeah, if you got any questions for Serge as we go through this, feel free to drop them in chat. If you folks listening to this later, drop us a line on Twitter, the Girls on Games, and we'll pass them on and try to get them answered for you. But if not, we're going to be at the show, so you can just come and hang out and see what it's all about. So first off, for those people who are not aware, what is the Montreal International Game Summit?
It's a B2B conference created in 2004, so it's going to be the 13th edition. And luckily enough, I don't know if it's something in the sky, but the show starts on the 13th for the 13th edition, and the largest moon in the last 50 years will be happening during the night of November 14th to 15th, which is during the evening of Mix.
So if we are there and at a cocktail, all of a sudden all the devs start howling at the moon, we know why.
That's it. So if we want to become werewolf,
Devs are werewolves, confirmed.
So MIGS is, as I said, a B2B event. It was created more at the time to make sure we can offer training, talks to the local community. It evolved a lot. I think in the first edition there was about 300 people. This year we expect about 3,000 people.
Wow.
It has become the largest event in the video game industry on the northeast coast. And in Canada as a whole. So it is the place to be if you're a Canadian developer, and also coming from the Nouvelle-Angleterre, New England area, you have to come to Mix. We'll have about 60 buyers, what we call, who are like the game publishers or brand owners that give jobs or contracts to developers. and we'll have 88 sessions, 2 keynotes. We have about 400 people in the business lounge, probably 300 people from overseas. So 10% of the crowd is from outside Canada. So it's a very good event for many aspects of the gaming industry.
Very cool. And so when it comes to, obviously there's a whole different type of folks, different, things people are there for, be it the business folks, be it developers, people looking for jobs, students, people like us in the media who are interested in, learning more about games and the production of games. What can game companies themselves get out of MIGS?
Game company can have some press coverage, of course, for their new title that they launch. So smaller studios like Becom is going to do his launch during the MIGS. And they will also access some tools, developer of tools like Substance or Houdini to figure out if this is some tools they could work with in their game development. One of our big sponsors this year is Amazon Lumberyard, which launched their new engine back in February. And it's a free tool, so maybe there'll be some development studios interested in using Lumberyard to do their next game. We have a studio from Kuala Lumpur coming called Streamline Studios, offering management software for studios that do game development. So there's a lot of a bit of everything for everybody. And for studios, there's also the job fair, which is important because we're still hiring big time in Montreal. Anybody that is decently skilled should find a job. I mean,
that's really awesome that you guys are actually like hiring people at MIGS. That's really, really cool.
No, there'll be the job fair. You can have interview on site. You can even as a candidate, you can even meet with an HR specialist to tell you if your resume or your portfolio should be adjusted so you can find a job. So
I think that's one of the best skills,
amazing.
Like beyond just doing a job interview, is having someone coach you to know where your strengths are and your weaknesses are. That's really important, especially in this day and age where jobs are kind of hard to come by. Students. Montreal is a huge student community here, both English and French, and there's a lot of video game-centric programs for kids to get involved in if they want to go down that route. What can students get out of MIGS?
Yeah, they'll have a chance, as I said, to attend the job fair and meet with many of the indie developers. We'll have 42 small independent studios showcasing their first game. And these guys, they want to hire too, so they can learn from the guys that are creating their dream job, their own studio. And many of these students we see coming out of the school, some of them want to work for the big guys like Eidos, Ubisoft, but some of them dream about creating their own studio, so they can talk with peers to find out what does it need to create your own studio, what are the challenge, and what you should expect in creating your own studio. So that's the kind of stuff the students can learn about. In fact, we'll have even students coming all the way from Chicoutimi and Oshawa. They're chartering buses to come to MIGS. So Algonquin College, Sheridan College, they're sending people. Université du Québec à Chicoutimi, Université du Québec at en Abitibi-Témiscamingue are sending people. So Montreal is really the hub for all these guys to see what's shaking and moving in the video game industry.
That's great. And of course, there's all those conferences and day-long classes that can be taken, master classes they're called?
Yes, we are going to have 12 different master classes. At first, we had more offered, but we like streamlined a little bit to make sure that everything we were offering was in a good attendance and that the content was to the expectations of our people. So they'll have 12 master classes of 7 hours that will be given. Some of them, one from a guy, I can't say his name, from Ubisoft in Quebec City about physics and mathematics will be very, very popular. I have almost 20 guys attending that master classes. So that's for the people that want to leverage their knowledge, get deep into it. And in fact, also it's good because you can get some reimbursement from Techno Competence.
Oh, yeah? That is
So,
really cool, though.
That's smart.
Yeah.
so Techno Competence is going to reimburse the company sending their people to those master classes. And the beauty of it is with our law here in Quebec, you have the big studios have to spend 1% in training. So when they send these people to MIGs, you have to understand it's applicable to their 1%
Mm.
because of the conferences and the master class we're offering.
Mm.
So that's why it's very interesting for the local studios to have MIGs in Montreal as well.
It's awesome. I'm super
Wow.
stoked. I myself am really intrigued by the background and how things are made and how game development happens from all aspects, be it, the actual coding, even though I don't know how to code in that way, or the art design or stuff like the math behind it. Like, that intrigues me and makes me think differently when it comes to me as a critic, how I tackle reviewing games and thinking about them. How do you think other media might benefit from attending MIGs?
I think it's going to be interesting for the media to discover this whole landscape of games that are a little bit underground. We're recognized here for the big guys, as I said, from Ubisoft and so on. But there's a lot of smaller studios doing very interesting stuff, like a Borealis,
Yes.
made of Mistralia. It's going to be a very interesting game. Of course, We Happy Few from Compulsion will be there. Whitney Clayton doing a presentation. I think the concept art of We Happy Few is just awesome. So it's going to be very interesting for the media to discover the people behind the games. We had a concept, the heroes behind the heroes. We didn't
Nice.
advertise that so much.
I
but
like that.
Yeah, it's who are the heroes behind the heroes we play on our game.
I might end up using that in the post, just saying.
That's okay, because we do believe that the real heroes of our industry are the creator. The
Yeah.
people are coding, creating, designing. the stuff.
There's so many big names in Montreal, like just outer minds who are doing the PewDiePie games. And are just the recent, even I hate PewDiePie, and even I had tried Tuber Simulator. I'm like, this is really fun.
Wait until Panache shows off what they're working on.
So many smaller
Panache,
names that are making it
Panache.
awesome.
That's
Yeah.
his Disneyland new studio.
Yeah, yes.
Working on their title, and I can tell you, things are moving ahead. So we'll eventually see stuff coming out of there. It's going to be very interesting.
Nice.
There are some really smart people in this city. There's some really smart people in this province and some really smart people in this country making games. And I think people forget sometimes. Kat and I always said when we started GOG is that we kind of had a hidden gem because we were doing English content in a French market where people don't really come in and dive in too much. Media stick to the San Franciscos, the New Yorks, or, LA areas. Montreal has so much.
These places are places for cash. That's why these hubs are very popular in the gaming industry. That's because there is VC money. But the creativeness,
Mm-hmm.
the mind, the spirit behind the games is here.
Yeah. That
I
is
love that.
wow.
I love that.
I love that too.
It's so Montreal.
Leah, put
though.
it down.
I'm putting it down. I'm writing it down. We've
I
got it
love
recorded.
that.
Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed in all the years doing GOG is just people come to us and they're like, oh, good, you're in Montreal, you're covering games. Can you help us? We're looking for ways to recruit more women. We're looking for ways to recruit new people or to get into schools to see if we can recruit there and things like that. And now, now with MIGs, they have there's a corner event where they can do that. But for the longest time, it was just Montreal was there in the gaming industry, but it was not known for everybody. And it's crazy how in the past 5 years that has completely shifted. And now every time they talk about games, it's Montreal, 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 Montreal. And it just warms my heart that finally they're okay, money's coming from there, but you guys are the creative people we should be talking about. And
Yeah.
I have to say, I was stunned. There is three independent studios coming all the way from Chile, and
Yeah.
8 studios from Chile and 3 from Colombia, and
Wow.
1 from Argentina and 1 from Peru, coming to
Wow.
showcase their games at MIGS. So that tells me something.
Holy
Oh, I'm
crap.
excited.
And they're coming in November. For them, that must be ass cold.
Yeah, because for them it's summer and they're coming in winter here.
Wow.
You
That
have to
takes
be
some
committed.
courage.
Oh my. Also, Migs is conveniently, and I'm assuming you guys did this on purpose, around the Northern Arena esports event, which is happening at the Bell Center on the 13th, and the Canadian Video Game Awards. Was this on purpose?
Not on my purpose. My dates were announced. They were known, and I guess it made a lot of sense for the organizers of Canadian Video Game Awards, Northern Arena. And there'll also be a game code event on Saturday. There'll be another workshop, Unity game workshop for girls on Saturday as well. So there's a lot of stuff happening all around MIGS because of MIGS. We're
Yes.
there, we're the antenna attracting the people of the video game industry in Montreal during that weekend, during that week. And obviously all the others it made sense for them. Okay, let's get around MIGS, let's stick to MIGS in order to make our event even better.
It must be a good like pat on the back. Like it's a good, like they say, like imitation sometimes is the best form of flattery.
Yes, but
You know
I
what
have
I mean?
I have to say though, in my commercial aspect of the business, it's a lot of a lot of same people, a lot of people in the same pool for sponsors.
Yeah, I can feel that. I can feel that. It's a tight business when it comes to sponsorships, when it comes to, who's got some money, because, these events, you for the folks like the students and the people in the business industry and that kind of stuff, you want to make it so it's fair and that anybody can access so that the love gets shared around, right? And the only way to offset those costs is with sponsorship. So I can see that being tight and difficult.
It's a bit an issue, let's say, but we made sure with our partners, because CVAs and Northern Arena are definitely partners. We made sure that we could work and survive and make it happen in the best manner for all our sponsors and all our attendees.
Love it. I think there's a space for everybody, and it's perfect because they all are a little bit different niche. And I think in the end, it's like a big celebration of video games in the city and in Canada. So it's going to be a good weekend, chunk of time. I took the whole week off so that I could enjoy it all. So
yeah, and then there's cocktails or parties every night happening during MIGS. So after the MIGS week, I'll hang my liver in the shower and go through the week.
preparation for the holiday season in a month's time.
It's liver training for the holiday season.
I love it. I love it. All right. So Mix has been around for 13 years. Where do you see it in 5 years?
Listen, there's a lot of speculation about who's going to create PAX North. I don't
Ooh, you're talking our language now.
Everybody's saying it's going to be either Vancouver, Toronto, or Montreal.
I mean, we have DreamHack, like we have Northern Arena, we have some pretty cool stuff happening in Montreal.
We have a very, very, very popular comic book convention.
Yes.
Comic-Con.
Well, Fan
We
Expo.
have poutine.
We do have poutine. We've got nice looking women. We got amazing game developers. There's a good reason to come here.
The
So
food is
anyway.
amazing here. Let's face it.
So I don't know. I think the event has grown a lot on the business side because all the B2B meetings, it's improved a lot in the last 4 or 5 years. The show floor is 33% larger this year, but on a B2B event, we cannot expand so much on those aspects. So maybe there'll be an interest from the community itself to say, okay, let's do a show. We can open the door to the wider public, because right now it's not open to the public. I want to remind everybody it's a B2B event, and it's for professional of the industry or wannabe professionals. And another point I want to make, it's for people of 18 years old and over, because we serve booze.
That's another good thing about
acceptable.
Quebec is that we're 18. When you think
Yes.
about the rest of Canada and the U.S., it's obviously a year or 2 years higher.
Much easier to deal with.
Another good reason for Montreal.
Yes.
If somebody wants to get involved in MIGS, do you guys have a volunteer program? I know you're probably not looking for this year. Maybe you are? I'm not sure.
Yeah. We do have about 130 volunteers, I think, so far. But we always make sure that we have more than what we need, because there is always no shows. There's always extra demand for extra stuff we didn't think about. So whoever wants to be a volunteer, we have a link on our webpage where you can register. So that's one way you can get involved. Another way you can get involved is to share our post on Facebook, on Twitter, and make sure everybody in your circle knows about MIGS, what's happening at MIGS, and who's coming at MIGS. That's the easy way to get involved and make your city, your event shine.
How about a little name drop? Who are the big folks coming to speak at MIGS this year?
We have our two keynotes. I'm a bit very interested about Timur Osila. Timur is the lead behind A-Day and Boom Beach. I remember downloading A-Day back at the time, saying to my folks, my friends in my studio, saying that game is going to make a lot of money, and they did make a lot of money. and my wife still plays A-Day, so I'm a bit excited to get this guy coming all the way from Helsinki to talk about his experience. As I said to you before the showcase, Ines McKendrick talking about Hello Games, No Man's Skies. That's going to be very interesting. Whitney Clayton about the design of We Happy Few. That's going to be very interesting. There's also a talk about photogrammetry, new techniques for art to create 3D objects and 3D animations. So those are very cool stuff. I think you people that are really interested in the game development should be able to participate and listen to.
That sounds excellent. So for those who want to go check it out, where can they track down tickets, all that jazz? I know we're giving a set away here, but if they're not one of the lucky ones, how can they get their hands on tickets to get their way in?
MIGS16.com, and you have to poke all the studios that are exhibitors. We give away a bunch of expo tickets to all of our exhibitors. So maybe some of them won't be used by the studios. Maybe you can poke them to say, hey, by the way, do you have any extra tickets I could use or give to my friend? So
That's great. Go poke your local game dev. I love it. All right, well, that pretty much wraps it up for us here at the show. Before I run into the conclusion and everything, Simon, we've got our contest going still. Do you want me to hold on to it? Last reminder, give everybody 5 minutes or so.
I just tweeted out, so if people want to come in.
We'll give it a minute. Okay,
and
cool.
the keyword, I'll put it on screen, actually. And, of course, you have to live in Montreal, or close, or are willing to come to Montreal for MIGS. Like, we don't just
note that it is this weekend, starting Sunday.
It is this weekend. So, the keyword is going to be... Let me just put it in right now.
Typey.
Everyone has a chance. The keyword is going to be MIGS16.
That's a good one.
That's it. MIGS 16. So just type MIGS 16 in chat if you want to win tickets to MIGS this weekend. Remember, you have to be in Montreal or are willing to come over from wherever you live.
All right, so just to close out the show, conclusion-wise, thank you very much to Fun.io, who does our VPS hosting. They're awesome folks. If you want to check out what's going on Girls on Games right now, we've actually got lots of content up about MIGS, especially we've got a article that I posted, just like tooting my own horn here, about all the women that I'm really excited to hear speak at MIGS 2016. We've got the stream schedule this week. I'm going to let Simon roll through that because it's a little different from usual this week.
Yeah,
Go,
I even have to look it up because I don't remember what.
We've got us today and
Yes,
Catholic
of
tomorrow.
course. That rarely ever changes, but
Okay.
what is changing is that we have no one on Wednesday unless we do a special stream. We don't know yet. And then we have the wonderful Witchling, who's in chat right now, who's going to be playing some Overwatch Thursday at 9, a bit later. And then Friday we're going to have Miss Bianca Dong continuing her Final Fantasy X playthrough. And then on Sunday we have the wonderful Alice, who is continuing her Skyrim playthrough, hopefully not getting her old town killed by vampires.
Ah, okay, that's good. That's very good.
So then she might switch to something else, who knows, but...
All right. Serge, before we let you go, how can people track you down and everything that there is to do with MIGS this year?
They can track me down on the website. They have a direct link to email me if they want to email me on additional stuff, or be happy to post or comment on our Facebook page. I reply myself to many of the messages on Facebook. So
That's great.
Me or Sandrine, my marketing manager, who is awesome, and we're doing together a good job in making sure everybody's rolled up.
We love Sandra, and we've been dealing with her for quite a few years now. She's awesome. Kat, thanks for hanging out. How can people follow you?
I am CSDESBINS on Twitter, Instagram, Xbox Live, Steam, Nintendo ID.
Could it be more complicated? Come on, girl.
It's my name.
Yeah, but
It is my name.
it's so French.
Simon,
I am so French. Look at the whiteness of my face. I eat a lot of
Tabarnak.
Oh, yes.
you know the hours ended when we start getting really silly. Simon, how
Yes.
can people track you down in all your life producing extraordinaire stuff?
GOG Simon, I'm on Twitter. And I'm never on Twitter, so don't get in touch with me on Twitter. Talk with these girls and they'll reach me
talk
if you
with
need
us.
to.
Yeah.
You want to get on Simon's nerves? You got to join our Discord chat.
Oh
you
yeah.
go.
Oh,
There you
Discord.
go.
Yeah, you got to do
Drop
the
that in
Discord.
link. All the info for that is on the website and on Twitter and Facebook and all that jazz if you want to track it down. You can find me, I'm Leah Jewer, on most social media platforms. But of course, you want to know all about Girls on Games. You can track us down at Twitter, The Girls on Games, Facebook, The Girls on Games, Instagram, or just Girls on Games. Same with this here Twitch channel. That's Girls on Games too. And Snapchat as well, Girls on Games. We broadcast this podcast live every Monday night at 8 p.m. so you can come hang out. But if you ever lost, just go to girlsongames.ca. That has everything. All the news, all the cool stuff. You can learn about Stream Team, the editorial team. If you want to contribute, you can post to us. Let us know what you want to talk about, and we're game. But that's pretty much it for us here on this Monday evening. Thank you, Kat. Thank you, Simon. Thank you, Serge. Have a wonderful MIGS, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Hold on, I need to roll.
Roll it, boy!
The winner is
everybody.
Thank you.
winner is Morin C75
Mother!
With
Another French name.
with a username like that. He's probably in Montreal.
Sandrine's got an email with that name and a +1. There you go. We'll be in contact through Twitch. Thanks again, everybody. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you next week.
Oh yeah, I have to transition out, eh? That's my job.
Yeah, that's your job. You're
Sorry,
trying to do it.
I
It's all
forgot.
good.
Bye guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.